All right, so I am here at the District Brewing Company. What an amazing place. And I have found Dallas Robinson. He is the owner of Enjoy Craft. Thanks for joining us, Dallas.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So now you are bringing a Harvest Craft Beer and Spirits Festival to Regina coming up in September. What is this kind of festival?
Well, we're trying to bring together craft breweries and craft distilleries, bring them into Regina, whether they're from Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, but mostly from Saskatchewan, and give people in Regina an opportunity to taste them.
Because I think we all are so used to going to maybe a liquor store and maybe just going with our favorites, but really there is some really talented brewmasters out there.
You know, the craft beer industry, for instance, and we're here at District, has just really evolved over the last 3 or 4 years. It's just grown gigantically. Mostly started in Ontario and in BC, but now Saskatchewan has these unbelievably great products, whether it be beer or whether it be spirits. And I think a lot of people in this province, and specifically in the city, don't realize how good it is. So we want to bring them to an event where they can try it, taste it, and then determine what they like and what they don't like, and then they can go to the store and buy it, or get it at their local bar, which is available here.
So now, at the particular festival here at the Casino Regina, will you be bringing in just distilleries and from around Saskatchewan or other?
Well, we'll bring them from outside of Saskatchewan as well, because there is plus 17 craft breweries here in the province of Saskatchewan, but there's still an opportunity for people to come in from for other breweries to come in and sample here as well. Plus, we're doing these shows across the country, so we want people in Alberta and in Manitoba and in BC, for instance, to try District. We want them to try District at some of our other shows. So this fall, we're going to do 5 shows across the country, across Western Canada, I should say. So, yeah.
So now, if once a guest comes in, what can they experience at a beer and spirits festival? Well,
you know, Lisa, I've done a whiskey show here at the Center of the Arts, and we've done a wine show, and it was exactly the same. And I think beer, craft beer specifically, deserves the same amount of respect. And that is a 3-hour tasting show. No tokens. They're going to go and they're going to try all the different beers. They're going to match them with food. We're going to have seminars where they explain craft brewing and distilling, and just treat it as same as any of the other higher level tasting shows that I've done in this country.
Good. Now, Dallas, how did you get into this? Now, I mean, because you're hosting these all across Western Canada, but how did you start?
You know, a friend of mine was talking about how in the States there was some of these successful whiskey tasting shows, and so I came back from Vancouver, where I used to live in Regina, and I was working on some of that. We put on a great whiskey show, and I said, you know, the whiskey was fun, but it was a lot of the larger companies. You know, you've got the Jack Daniels and you've got the Crown Royals. Then we did a wine show, again, larger companies, and I said, I got to do a beer show. As I got into this business, though, I realized that these beer guys, they're trying their hardest. I mean, the craft brewer industry is still only 10% compared to the big guys, you know, the Molsons and the Labatt's and all that kind of stuff. These guys are trying to compete in the business, so why don't I just feature the smaller local breweries and the smaller local distillers, the guy in Lumsden, the guy up in Saskatoon. And so I got a passion for it, and I mean, I've really enjoyed it. So I really want to do this right, and you know, September 16th at Regina, and then, you know, we're going to keep going across Western Canada, featuring, you know, and like I said before, featuring people like District over in Calgary, featuring different breweries here in Regina. So it's become a passion because these guys are really doing it right. They're working in the business. They have to be business people. They've got to bring people into their venues, you know, so they need to go and get out to the consumer. And tasting shows are a great way to do it.
Yeah. Now, I know that District Brewing is all, there's a lot of spots that you can buy actually this product in many hotels, facilities, and at the SLGA. Are all of them like that, or is it more a localized, you have to go down to their warehouse to purchase the product?
Well, you know, there's like, so for instance, there is 600 of these smaller breweries across the country. They can't possibly get into all the liquor stores. They can't possibly get into all the bars. So they have to fight their way to get in and get tasted and do what that can, you know, do what happens. So this example here, we're in a great brewery. They're moving into, you know, they're canning the product, they're putting it in SLGA, they're putting it in independent stores, they're putting it in brew pubs, but they're working at it. And so consequently, you know, it's a tough business. They have to be business people, they're craftsmen. You know, we talked to a person like Joe here that runs the place, that they have to be, and they also have to be tourism people, because they want people to come down to a place like here and they want them to buy it. And so we want to help those people.
So we were here earlier, we were testing some of the Amazing beers. What would you say your favorite was?
I've always liked in Regina, you know, I've had it, and I was telling Joe earlier, I've had it at Houston Pizza at different places, but the dark lager happens to be my favorite. And yeah, we were sampling it early. It was awesome. And, you know, when you see that, you can go into, you know, you can go into Earl's and get a Rebellion. You can go into Social Hall and get a District. Now you can find it around the city, but we need to make people aware that these guys have, like, they've got 4 beautiful different beers, and they're bringing in seasonal ones. And so people don't know that, right? They just go in, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And what I love about this event is you're not just trying to sell more beer. You're trying to sell people on craft beer and more about the event.
You know, craft beer, a lot of the people that are moving into craft beer are not the traditional people that might have drank a traditional product. People are moving over from Scotch, they're moving over from whiskey, they're moving into this because they have an appreciation for it. I mean, we're in front of some whiskey barrels that they're aging some beer in here that's going to be, it's a true craft product. And so the people, it's a whole movement of people moving from wine into beer or beer into Scotch, and the whole thing is kind of a wild process, and it's very interesting.
So now this is just a sky blue question. Blue sky. You're hosting these across Western Canada. What's your future look like?
Well, you know, I built a company here in Regina called Tasting Group, and it's all about helping people taste the product, then actually go and buy it wherever they want to buy it. And then, you know, I added another component called travel, a travel agency, where we actually take people to different places after they've tasted it. And so I call it kind of try, buy, and fly, right? So I think it's a business that, you know, can take off, because what other business, after you've tasted a district beer, would you want to come down and see a place like this? What other business could you actually taste a wine and want to go to Kelowna and taste it? So it's, you know, I've been involved in a lot of businesses, some here in Regina. This one is so exciting because it involves some great people and it involves a great process.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Dallas, just for coming to Regina and hosting something like this and promoting our craft beer and our spirits. I just thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it.
All right, well, that is Dallas Robinson, and he is the owner of Enjoy Craft, and we are talking about the Harvest Craft and Spirits Festival coming up at the Casino Regina on September 16th. Hope we will see you there. I also want to thank District Brewing Company for just allowing us, well, to host it here, but, well, we had some beer tasted earlier. So anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.